Hi guys, pattern-collections.com is where you want to find today's pattern focus. Scroll down to this one, which is the next one on our list. Wait for it to load. There is no other videos about this. This one is called Venu by Smita Toke. And it's a fun little wormy-like pattern. You end up with those little guys. I like that look where they're overlapping like that. That's fun. So first thing we're going to do is make an S and then make another one right next to it like that. And at the top and the bottom of the S we're going to make an oval. Inside that oval we're going to make an aura. And then on one side, I don't know if you can see that, it's really clear, but right here, I'm going to thicken that one line right there. And then at the bottom, you're going to thicken the bottom line right there. And that will make it look sort of like a 3D hole. And see how she's, in this one, she's threaded strings through that hole. That's really cool. I kind of like that. And then embellish and play with pattern and things on this little wormy shape. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn on my light. Close your eyes, everyone. It's that part of the day. Oh, let's see. What do we want to draw on today? Let's draw on a rectangle today. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And today I'm just going to go in with pen. Sometimes I go in with pencil. I do want to give myself a visual stopping spot for a border. Like I said, I've said, I don't necessarily put the border for any particular stylistic reason other than the fact that I really just don't like drawing all the way to the edge of my page. I like to stop ahead, but sometimes the pattern doesn't need an actual border and I will erase that. But sometimes it does, and so I usually decide that last, but not always. Sometimes I just go right in with a border. Okay, so let's make an S. I'm making a pretty darn big one. That's okay. And another one right next to it. And then here we're going to make an oval. And here we're going to make an oval. And then we're going to aura. And aura. And make this one thicker. And make this one thicker, like that. Trying to decide what I want to do to embellish this one. I think I'm going to do my embellishments first before I draw the next one, because if I embellish on the outside, I'll need that space. I do like this having a kind of a feathery, petally thing. I do enjoy this, drawing this shape, really one of those shapes that I like to do. Let's do it on the other side too. Something like that. That's fun. I think it needs something coming up this way though. And this way. Something alive in my trash can. Don't know what it is, but it seems to be settling and making a noise. Okay. Alright. So I'm happy with that. So I'm going to put another S shape here. And maybe, what if I make my S shape with a slightly wider mouth to it. Okay, draw a little something like that in there. Why? I don't know, just because I feel like it. Maybe put some dots along here. And then I want another one, but I'm going to make it go this way, I think. And you'll notice I've gone outside my little border area, and that's okay. My line is just there to kind of remind me that I'm getting close to the edge. It's not set in stone. Okay. And I think this one's going to have stripes. Yep, stripe changed directions in the middle there. And I think some of them are going to come more up and around the edge. Oh yeah, that's cool. More like rings. Oh, I like that. Very Dr. Seussy. Let's see, that one would be white, then this one would be dark. Like that. Something like that. That one's fun. It needs something splashing out of it though. Or from behind. Like that. And maybe this way. Come. That, and then this one needs something coming out here. More fescue. Whenever I don't know what to do, I use the pattern fescue. Now you guys know that the only reason that patterns have names is just to make them easier to look up, right? Patterns are patterns. They're not trademarked. If you figure out a way to draw something and you make your own step out, which I've done before, I'm sure there are other people who have figured out over the centuries a similar look and how to draw it, and it may not have a name, so it doesn't mean that it's yours, but your artwork made with that is yours. I hope you understand the difference. Your artwork is your artwork, but you can absolutely take any pattern you find on the internet and use that pattern in your art, as long as you're not copying that person's art directly. Like if you took what I have right here, if you took it and made a screenshot and then you printed it out and traced it and said, I drew this, that's not cool. It's just not. But if you drew along with me and drew your own without copying mine exactly, because yours is not going to look the same as mine, then that's cool. That's the whole thing. I don't get too wrapped up in the whole copyright thing. As long as you're not, out and out stealing. For its, your patterns will look different than mine because I couldn't take this same exact drawing and draw it again exactly the same way. It wouldn't look exactly the same. It would look similar, but it wouldn't look exactly the same. I feel like it needs a little something here. I need to make it a little darker right around that edge. And making those little lines right there does that. I'm going to do that again here. There's been a lot of talk about, you know, copyright and copyright infringement in all of the various groups that I'm in, not just in the patterning groups, but in others. And yeah, you can't just out and out copy somebody else's work. But, you know, but if you're doing a tutorial or something like that and you say inspired by or tutorial designed by X, Y, and Z, and as long as you're not, you know, out to sell it, copying, you know, practicing for your own, even copying the masters, even copying not masters, as long as you're not, you're just doing it for your own practice. So you're practicing faces, so you find a famous or a picture or painting that you like of a face, and you draw it or you play with it, you're fine at home, you know, for your own practice. But if you turn around and try to sell that picture, if you don't have permission to paint or draw it, then that's where you get in trouble. But for things like patterns, you know, I have nobody has a patent or a copyright on a pattern. They do have, like this, like a circle with a dot in it. I can't copyright that. I can't patent that. But this circle with this dot on this piece of art is now my art. I hope you guys understand and that it makes sense. It's kind of hard to describe. But once I've created the artwork, then it's my artwork. And, you know, this all just came out of my head using the base of my inspiration is how to draw this pattern. You can't hardly see it now because of that glare of that light. That's why I don't use that light when I'm doing the step out. But, you know, this pattern's out there in the world. This designer has said, this is how I draw this particular shape, and I'm giving you the steps, one step by step, on how to draw this particular shape. Then it's all good, right? But I can't take this little part here, her artwork. That part I can't emulate or replicate. I can get inspired by it, overlapping, doing a little bit of stripes, doing a little bit of these like feather-like shapes. You know, I was inspired by it, but I didn't copy it exactly. That's the difference. I'm just sticking some graphite on here so I can get some shading in these shapes. I think I want to smudge that more. Maybe a little bit around each of these little dot guys. They look like kind of tentacles of some sort. Well, this morning I watched, so you're going to hear this like a week late, but this morning I watched over on Cinnamon Cooney's channel, the Art Sherpa. Do you guys watch that? I know some of you do. And you can go into the YouTube archives and find this. But they've been raising money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which is an awesome and worthy cause. And they said if they got to a certain dollar amount, there's some things that they would do when they got to a certain goal. And they met their goal, the goal for this particular next step. And one of those things was that Cinnamon's husband John was going to do art on camera. And he is not comfortable being in front of the camera. He is the guy who sits in the back and pushes the buttons to make Cinnamon's show work. And he is awesome, and he has a microphone, and he talks to everybody, and he's pretty cool about that. He's gotten much better than when they first started. He didn't say a thing, and now he's gotten much more comfortable, but he's not comfortable in front of the camera. And he stepped out of his comfort zone in order to help raise some money for St. Jude. And while he was on air, which was, I don't know, I came in the middle of it. I got up and they were already on, so I didn't get to see the whole thing live from the beginning. I went back and watched it after it was over, but I didn't get to see the whole thing from the beginning. But they went from about $7,000 raised to over $10,000. So he raised over $3,000 just while he was doing his art. I think that's so great. And he was so moved that he was nearly in tears. He was that close. It made me cry because he was just awed by the generosity of the art community. And, you know, we are a bunch of really softies, the people who love art. We really are. And we're a very giving and generous community. And that's what I really love about being in community with others, whether it's a religious community or an art community or some other. There are a lot of them that seem to engender goodness and generosity, and I gotta decide how this is gonna live. Not like that. Some of them have an obvious up and down based on how I've drawn it. And some of them don't. I'm feeling that way. This is... Anyway, what I was trying to say is that you know, those of us who are artists are very sensitive people, and we you know, we feel for others, and we're very loving and kind and generous, and that is the place I like to be, in a place of loving and kindness and generousness. Meanness and spitefulness have no place. They really don't. And to be honest, if meanness and spiteness comes up in my Facebook group or my YouTube comments or anywhere else, I hate to say this, but you are immediately just deleted and blocked, and you're gone, because that's something I just won't tolerate. I will tolerate all sorts of things. I will tolerate a diversity of opinion. That is awesome. You know, you don't have to like everything I do. You don't have to agree with the way I do things. That's fine. You start calling me names and you're deleted. Simple as that. So, be nice to each other. Be nice to me. Thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow. You have a great day. Go out and do something nice for somebody today, okay? Bye-bye.